We love the myth of the visionary, the bold risk taker who refuses to play by the rules. But what happens when the myth collides with reality? What happens when wealth and hubris combine to make a cocktail so toxic that it takes down not just the visionary, but also everyone around them? Today, we're going to discuss Stockton Rush, Elizabeth Holmes, and Sam Bankman-Fried. Three people whose ignorance cost lives, fortunes, and trust in entire industries. Because this isn't just about them, it's about how easily we mistake recklessness for genius. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Antoinette Chanel, and welcome to my channel. Stockton Rush thought that safety was boring. Here's a man who wanted to democratize deep sea exploration. Notable in theory, but in practice, he dismissed over 100 years of hard-earned knowledge about the ocean's dangers. When marine engineers tried to warn Stockton Rush about using carbon fiber for a vessel meant to dive 12,000 feet under the water, he brushed it off. When former OceanGate employees filed whistleblower reports citing the potential for catastrophic failure, Stockton Rush ignored them. And in the case of at least one engineer, let me check my notes here, he fired that person for speaking up. Rush even refused to certify the Titan submersible with any outside regulators. And he was quoted as saying that innovation requires you to break the rules. But the ocean doesn't care about rules. And as we know, in June 2023, the Titan submersible imploded on its Father's Day mission down to the Titanic wreckage site. The crushing pressure of the deep sea killed all of the Titan's passengers instantly. But this wasn't a freak accident. This was arrogance personified. A man who was so sure of himself that he gambled with human lives.
I'd like to be remembered as an innovator. I think it was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And, I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
Elizabeth Holmes wanted to be the next Steve Jobs, right down to the way that she dressed. Her vision, a machine that could run hundreds of diagnostic tests from a single drop of blood. Sounds revolutionary, right? Except it didn't work. As early as 2010, Theranos engineers and scientists told Elizabeth Holmes straight up that the results that we're getting from the Edison are wildly inaccurate. I don't think that this is something that is ready to sell to the public just yet. Blood tests misdiagnosed cancer, HIV, and healthy pregnancies. But Holmes didn't listen. Instead, she ordered her employees to do fake demonstrations, sending out test results that were processed on conventional machines rather than the Edison to make it appear as though the Edison was functioning just like those conventional machines were. But it wasn't. She lied to patients. She lied to doctors. She lied to investors. In its early days, Theranos pulled in $700 million in donations from people like Rupert Murdoch. By the time the truth came out, thousands of people had already trusted Theranos with their health. Some had even received false positives for life-altering conditions. In 2022, Elizabeth Holmes was found guilty of fraud and sentenced to 11 years in prison. And it was mainly because Elizabeth didn't want to listen to what her team was telling her. And unfortunately, in her case, science really doesn't care about your ambitions. It cares about accuracy.
This is what happens when you work to change things. First they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
Sam Bankman-Fried was once the golden boy of crypto. I know it doesn't look like he would be, but he was. FTX wasn't just a crypto exchange, but it was marketed as a safe one. An ethical one. But behind the scenes, it was chaos. Sam Bankman-Fried and his inner circle of friends funneled billions in customer funds into a hedge fund called Alameda Research. And from there, they started making risky bets, almost like they were treating the FTX funds as their personal piggy bank. They bought luxury condos in the Bahamas. They donated millions to political candidates. They hosted celebrity-packed parties, all while playing with money that wasn't theirs. And when the House of Cards collapsed in late 2022, FTX left over $8 billion in customer funds unaccounted for. Like, I've heard of overdrafts and, draining bank accounts, but just $8 billion vanished like that. I can't even imagine. Some of that money belonged to retirees and even public pension funds. Entire school districts lost their reserves when FTX collapsed. And in 2024, Sam Bankman-Fried was convicted of fraud and conspiracy. He thought he was the smartest guy in the room, but it turns out he wasn't.
I am no cryptocurrency expert, I'm no finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question. I always ask you, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors.
So what connects these three seedy characters together? Each one ignored warning signs. Each one believed that their wealth and their vision made them untouchable. Rush rejected engineering norms. Holmes silenced her scientists. And SBF, he just kind of laughed off the whole idea of risk management as an inconvenience. And in all three scenarios, the people who trusted them, their employees, their customers, their investors, they all paid the biggest price of all. This isn't just about individual failings. It's about a culture that seems to want to celebrate recklessness as something that is a sign of genius. We need to stop confusing recklessness for genius. One more time for the people in the back. We need to stop confusing recklessness with genius.
Point, like, there'll be people that they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I about Trump. I believe when Trump, everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of every single.
250 is great and all, but it's hard to come up with content with just me every day.
$250,000 a year as an annual income is great and all.
Yes.
It is great.
It is great. But I was like, this doesn't have longevity.
Welcome to the Carter, little shop of horror. Bloody like a period. After the aura. Doctor, I'm a dog. I'm a dog. I'm a dog, yeah. Not Georgetown, but I'm a uptown Hoya.
Now the thing is, he said he said grounded in reality. This reality has been forced upon us. It is a choice, just like when I said slavery is a choice. The reality, we can make our own reality. We can talk about history, but not too long. We need to talk about our now, because we can fix and start loving each other now. I say we have no enemies. We don't have enemies. Black people have a tendency to focus and march when a white person kills a black person or wears a hat. But when it's 700 kids being killed in Chicago, it's okay. It's okay for blacks to kill blacks. But if it's a white thing...
Because if history has taught us anything, it's that when wealth and hubris collide, it's very rarely the rich who have to pay the price first. Those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me for another video, friends. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That's very helpful for me as I try to peddle my videos on this YouTube app. Also, if you'd like to see more content from me, consider hitting the subscribe button. That way you can get notified when I upload new videos to this channel, which, as it goes right now, happens about every week. I'm trying to make it happen more often, but sis has got a day job. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at the handle that's on your screen right there. Otherwise, my friends, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I will catch up with you in the next video. Bye!